Welcome back, YouTube. In this video, I wanted to discuss Dogecoin's probability of hitting some of these numbers that we're seeing being forecasted for 2022. And before a lot of these videos saying Dogecoin to $1,000 and all this type of stuff that I'm seeing now, I wanted to have an opportunity to sit down with everyone and do what we do here on my channel, which is look at the facts, look at the numbers, and work those out. So before we start seeing Dogecoin can hit this number and that number, we really need to look at two different things. And that's the individual circumstances of Dogecoin and the overall market cap and what's going on with the other cryptos, specifically the top 10. So we're going to look at Dogecoin's individual circumstances, and then we're going to circle back here to the overall circumstances of the market. But what I want you to pay attention to right now is we're going to use the numbers that are current. And right now you'll see right here on today's cryptocurrency market cap, we are roughly at $2.2 trillion. We've seen this roughly $1 trillion higher at a peak, but as of right now, today, it is $2.2 trillion. And those are the numbers that we're going to use here going forward for this video. So when we look at Dogecoin's individual circumstances, its individual catalysts, we have to say, okay, well, Dogecoin being that it has new coins continuously minted, we're going to have utility in order for it to work. So it's not going to function something like Bitcoin. You can't hoard it or simply buy up the available supply and make it, okay, well, if we just hold it, the value will go up. That's not how Dogecoin works. And we've done a great job of that in 2021 by focusing on that utility. So for 2022, we have what we know, even in the first quarter alone, we have the AMC partnership, we have the Doge One satellite, we have the Doge One with the moon launch, we have the Doge One, we have the partnership with Tesla coming up, we have the partnership with GameStop coming up, and we have these opportunities here with some of these large organizations to actually start using Dogecoin and to create that bridge to expansion. Not to mention the Dogecoin and Ethereum bridge. So I said the word bridge. So pretty much putting Dogecoin in the NFT market. So this is a lot of opportunities here for Dogecoin to branch out and to start having this distribution and these different wallets being large holders of Dogecoin, increasing the utility, thus taking a large portion of the coins off of the market, making the overall remaining coins worth more. That's great. That solves the utility issue for the most part. We'll just say that solves the utility issue, and Dogecoin now has a function. So in order for it to hit these astronomical numbers, we're going to say, okay, well, we solved the utility issue. Now, overall, what does that mean for the crypto market? So if Dogecoin moves up, so if there's $2.2 trillion available right now, in order for Dogecoin to hit these numbers, $1, $5, $10, stuff like that, we're going to need to see one of two things. Scenario A, which would mean the other coins would go to hell and people would strictly start using Dogecoin in a large magnitude and create a vacuum effect on the overall crypto market, and the money would flow into Doge. Or option two, the crypto market in general expands. Now, the most likely of those two is obviously option two, where the crypto market expands, because again, I believe that the crypto market is in its infancy stages, and overall, we're going to see a $5 trillion market cap, a $10 trillion market cap. The stock market, I believe, roughly is worth around 100 trillion. So we're sitting at roughly 2% of the potential wealth that can be in the crypto market that's currently in there now. So there's room to see a pretty significant increase of an amount of capital in the current coins that we have. So the most likely of those two is the crypto market expanding. Now, so the other question would have to be, okay, what's the time frame for this expansion? But before you start saying, okay, well, here's these projections, because I like for people to not only plan and know their numbers, but also have the realistic approach as far as what happened. Because when I see these videos or these thumbnails that say Dogecoin $1,000 and stuff like that, I'm like, have you done any of the math, or do you even care like what you're putting out to people? Like, or is it just, you just, I get it, it's for views, and stuff like that. But when you are putting the numbers out there, I wanted to at least make sure that the people that follow me and look at my channel, they're able to kind of know the math here. So, and I worked that out for you. So we're going to use pretty much like some rough estimates here. We'll say roughly there are 130 billion Dogecoins available right now. So Very simple. In order for Dogecoin to hit $1, we're going to need to have $130 billion in capital in Dogecoin, which is roughly around 5.6% of the current market. Triple that and say that, okay, for Dogecoin to hit $3, we're going to need roughly around 390 billion into the cryptocurrency and roughly around 17% of the overall market cap. $5 is going to be about $650 billion in market cap, and that's roughly going to be around 28% of the entire crypto market. And of course, if you're saying something like $10, you're going to be at roughly around like 58%, and that's going to be around $1.2 trillion in market cap. If we're putting a time frame on this to put it into perspective for 2022, we'd have to say, okay, what's going to happen to coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, stuff like that, if Dogecoin is worth 130 billion to 300 billion? How much are those coins going to be worth? Because we know that especially when it comes down to like Ethereum and Bitcoin, we know that those are institutional favorites. That's what the institutions, technically, they'll pump their money into, at least on larger scales, and they do some of the other cryptocurrencies that they're available at. So if Dogecoin has that type of value, what's the current value of those other coins? Because you can't just say that. It's unrealistic to say that the market is going to vacuum out for Dogecoin so it can be a currency, because the currency, obviously, that's going to compete with the US dollar. So the institutions in that aspect, I do believe they'd come in once we have a larger following, just because they like control and stuff like that. But they wouldn't turn over Bitcoin typically that quickly. So for 2022, is it likely that it can hit like some of those crazy numbers? And first of all, speaking of crazy numbers, let's deal with those $1,000 predictions and stuff like that. As it stands right now, even if as a matter of fact, it's impossible. If we took the entire world's economy, that mathematically would not work out. We would have to be in hyperinflation for that math to work out. So whenever you see something that says Dogecoin like $1,000 and stuff like that, that mathematically, like, I haven't done the math, but I don't need to know that that doesn't work, and that's BS, all of it. And I said this a while ago. If Dogecoin is $1,000 a coin, the most valuable thing that you can have is going to be a gun, because we are like, the entire world's economy is running wild, and safety and protecting assets like food and water, that's going to be priority number one versus trading coins. But putting a realistic approach as far as for like on 2022 and in the near future with a reasonable like expansion of the market is like a $1 or $3 Doge impossible? And the answer to that is no, it's not. But technically, most of that money would either come from a expansion of the market, or the Dogecoin community pretty much having that utility and getting accepted on a large base, and institutions wanting to have that control as far as like over the price, take a larger position in Dogecoin. Because I believe if we play our cards right and we have this utility and we start expanding, and these catalysts that we have, they go very well, and a bunch of other businesses decide to start taking Dogecoin, and they start pulling, as we use Dogecoin, it starts pulling that coin count off the available market. I do believe that institutions will take a larger position in Dogecoin, because at that point you now have an actual currency. And to history, I have not seen a currency exist that's not controlled or at least mediated by a government or large institutions. That typically does not happen. And if we do play our cards right with Dogecoin, it won't be the exception. As far as the $5 and $10, again, market expansion is going to do the most part as far as like the heavy lifting on that. And Dogecoin pretty much will just have to, we would have to keep innovating as a community and keep building the community and getting accepted as far as for different industries for payment, so that we can withstand the test of time in the crypto market as it expands, and then we can hit some of those numbers. But as far as for a simple catalyst or something as far as for next year without large institutional money coming into Dogecoin, that would be unlikely to happen in the near future. That would be unlikely to happen in 2022 without the a large injection of institutional money. Because when you say that the market is going to expand that greatly, or Dogecoin is going to be worth $500 billion, you have to ask yourself, where's the money coming from? Does retail have $500 billion? Are we going to buy Dogecoin and hold it to $1 trillion? No, that's going to be institutional money coming in, or the gradual effect of us using the Dogecoin and removing it from the market, and these institutions being forced to drip them back in. So that creates the buying pressure on the remaining coins to get the price up. But overall, if we're expecting something swift like that to happen in 2022, more than likely that's going to have to come from large institutions taking big stakes in Dogecoin. I'm long Dogecoin. I'm very interested to see the development going forward, the catalyst that we have, to see how Dogecoin responds to it, see how Dogecoin responds to the trials and tribulations of the economy overall, what's going on within the next year or so as far as for pullbacks and stuff in the economy. I'm very interested to see the development of Dogecoin even outside of these catalysts. So again, if we work on our utility and get the expansion and get the acceptance that we need for Dogecoin, we will see a lot higher numbers than what we are now. So with that being said, as far as for your numbers, if you're going to be long-term or short-term in the coin, or if you need to take profits and stuff like that, when you have the type of support that you have now, and this is really regardless if you're long-term or short-term, if you believe in a coin, or if you expect some reasonable action from the catalyst that we have going on next year, the easiest thing for you to do now is get your coin count or your average down as close as possible to this current support line. This is going to give you the most amount of options. We're going to go down here to number 12, check out Dogecoin. And if you've not seen my channel, you're going to look, let's do year to date. And you're going to see that we're holding up here. This is around that 16, 18 cents line. That's where you're going to get the greatest amount of your support from. And that is where I recommend your DCA be as close to as possible if you're looking to hold this coin really long-term or short-term. This is going to give you the greatest amount of leverage. With that being said, know your numbers and plan them accordingly for 2022 so that you can have control over your portfolio and not let fear or the current news influence your decisions. I hope you found value in this video. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to hear more from me. You can always change your mind later, but I welcome you here to the channel. And don't forget to like the video so YouTube shares it with additional people as well. And also don't forget about BlockFi. If you open an account with them, you can get up to $250 in some of your favorite crypto, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And until next time.